What's up everybody, Pedro V here, coming to you with a new video. Before I start the video, I just want to say thank you guys for 40,000 subscribers. Thank you for tuning into my videos. Thank you for showing love, comment, like, subscribe, because I will be having some new content very soon for y'all. And I know some of y'all are starting your channels, and I will support you as long as you continue to support me. I just want to appreciate you guys very much, and with that being said, God bless y'all and enjoy the video.
Like so many epidemics before, the loss of so many lives began with a single microscopic organism. It's human nature to seek even the smallest comfort in reason or logic for events as catastrophic as these. But a virus doesn't choose a time or place. It doesn't hate or even care. It just happens.
The CDC is warning everyone this morning about an uptick right here in the Bay Area. The CDC's latest flu report shows a major rise in certain flu viruses across the southeast.
The Center for Disease Control is issuing a warning about a respiratory infection that could be dangerous for both children and adults.
It's called the respiratory syncytial virus, and it can be very serious for infants and older adults in certain cases.
Cover your mouth, please.
Fuck off, lady.
Nightmare bacteria with rare antibiotic-resistant genes is spreading across the U.S. The CDC has detected the deadly and virtually untreatable bacteria in 27 states so far. In most, it's found in people in hospitals and nursing homes who have IVs and other tubes that could get infected. Antibiotic-resistant germs kill more than 23,000 Americans a year, by the way.
It may be a real but small increase in cases, or it probably also reflects better surveillance. We're working hard to get the word out to parents, to providers, and to health departments to report cases and investigate. And it's not clear what the exact cause is. It's cold and flu season, so we often see cases have had a viral respiratory illness or a respiratory illness before. So we think about viruses, but we don't exactly know the cause in most cases.
911, what are you reporting? Sorry, did you say something bad?
Yes, it's really bad. She's bleeding.
Where is she bleeding from?
At New York's Maimonides Medical Center, Dr. Eitan Dickman is on the front line of the flu season.
Nationwide, the flu is starting to kick in right now. It's early January. Is that the same thing you're seeing here?
We have definitely seen an uptick in the number of cases related to the flu over the past few weeks.
According to the CDC, this year the H1N1 strain, also known as swine flu, is responsible for the majority of cases, particularly in those under 40. Just last month, 26-year-old conservative journalist Bree Payton died from it.
We've already seen thousands of hospitalizations this year, and we will expect a whole lot more because that's what influenza does.
With last year's flu season one of the deadliest, the CDC recommends everyone 6 months and older get the flu vaccine.
If someone out there still hasn't gotten the flu shot, we are still strongly recommending that they go and get the flu vaccine.
If you do get sick, there's a new drug called Xofluza. Unlike Tamiflu, it only takes one dose. It's not even peak flu season yet. That's usually late January or February. So the worst possibly still ahead. If you haven't gotten your flu vaccine, it's definitely not too late.
Hey, we got a situation over the 911 call center, and the system's about to go down. We're just overloaded with calls.
Stephanie, you're not answering your phone. I want you to get off that boat.
In just a few hours, nearly 500 sick people on a cruise ship are about to arrive in Central Florida. They got the nasty bug while at sea, cutting their vacation short. News 6's Eric Sandoval is at Port Canaveral with what's being done now to get results and to make sure that virus doesn't spread on land.
The Oasis of the Seas arrives here at Terminal 1 at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. And when it does, we found out Brevard County Emergency Management and the Department of Health will be here. They want to make sure the people who were sick on board the cruise ship get treatment and that the illness they have is reined in. The Oasis of the Seas left Port Canaveral last Sunday, headed out for a 7-day cruise to Haiti, Jamaica, and Mexico. But 3 days in, passengers started falling ill, and on Thursday, the ship decided to head home a day early. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly 6,300 passengers are on board the Oasis of the Seas right now. At last count, 475 passengers had fallen ill, most reporting vomiting. Health officials say they suspect norovirus, a virus that quickly spreads, but that has not been confirmed. Saturday morning, Royal Caribbean is spearheading what greets passengers as they return. News 6 found out Brevard County Emergency Management will establish a triage area staffed with medical personnel for many of the sick passengers to go through. The CDC and State Health Department will assist. After everybody's off, the CDC will board the ship, investigate how the illness started, and oversee the disinfection of the ship for its next cruise, which is scheduled for Sunday. Now, we found out part of the preventative efforts with that triage station will be in preventing the virus from going even further on shore than the port here. Health officials say the best ounce of prevention is, of course, washing your hands.
Sit down. We have an officer down. I need an ambulance immediately.
Do not try to leave the building. This will all be over shortly.
The body of a CDC employee who disappeared without a trace more than a month ago was found this week. But what happened to him is still a mystery. Here's Mark Strassman in Atlanta.
Timothy Cunningham was 35, Harvard educated, and a leading disease specialist at Atlanta's Centers for Disease Control. At his home 7 weeks ago, relatives found his cell phone, car keys, and his dog, but no sign of him. Until now. Atlanta Fire Rescue spokesman Cortez Stafford.
The body was found along the bank of the river, and it was found face up. It was stuck in a lot of mud as well.
Cunningham's disappearance made national headlines. Police refuted social media conspiracy theories that the scientist had stolen a virus and fled. Coworkers said on February 12th he was passed over for a new job at the CDC, left work upset, and vanished. Flyers, search teams, and a $15,000 reward produced nothing. On Tuesday night, fishermen spotted a body partially submerged in the Chattahoochee River. Medical examiner Dr. Jan Gorniak.
There was no signs of any foul play. Right now, the preliminary cause of death is drowning, but since the investigation is still open, we do not have a manner of death as whether it's an accident, suicide, or anything other than that.
Just to hear that, no foul play is suspected, and the hint being that he would have done this to himself, I disagree with that.
It is a murder investigation, and right now deputies say they have no leads, no suspect, and no motive. We are told that Bodette was a brilliant scientist who worked for a pharmaceutical company, and tonight his heartbroken widow is trying to stay strong for their young children. 35-year-old Tristan Bodette had a resume most would envy. According to his LinkedIn page, he had a PhD in chemistry from UC Berkeley. But it was his 2 girls, his family tells us, that were his greatest pride. That's why his shooting death in a tent with his toddler daughters nearby is so devastating and so puzzling.
The campground was nearly full at summer vacation.
Even with other campsites close by at Malibu Creek State Park, deputies say someone shot Bodette just before 5 on Friday morning. Deputies say they found him bleeding and dying inside his tent. His 2- and 4-year-old daughters were with him, but unhurt. Bodette's family tells us his wife, also a PhD, was getting ready to take her board exams, so she stayed behind in Irvine. No one ever dreamed, even fellow campers, that violence would grip such a scenic and tranquil place.
Like pretty secluded, like everything's pretty spread out, like it's pretty quiet. Like I wouldn't expect like something to happen.
Now Bodette's family is grief-stricken. He and his wife were planning to move and looking forward to a new life, both as PhDs, and raising their 2 young daughters who shared Daddy's love for the outdoors.
Growing concerns this morning after a vial containing a potentially deadly virus goes missing from a lab at the University of Texas at Galveston. Now, Dr. Mark Siegel is a member of the Fox News Medical Aid Team, Associate Professor of Medicine at NYU's Langone Medical Center. And Doc, good morning to you. What do we need to know about the possibility that this could be dangerous?
Well, Bill, in this case, this is called the guanarito virus, and it affects Venezuelan rats. Now, look, it doesn't even affect rats from the United States. So it is not going to do what I call jumping the species barrier and infect humans. It is not going to happen. It's very deadly in Venezuelan rats. It's not even making our rats sick. It is not going to jump to humans. Everybody watches this news and they think of Contagion, you know, the movie Contagion, it's going to happen that way. It's not going to happen. But, you know, Bill, at the same time that this news is out, the Government Accountability Office is about to issue a report saying that the security in our labs isn't what it should be in the United States, and that this stuff can happen.
That's interesting, too. So
you
know about this research facility in Galveston? Tell us about it.
Well, that research facility in Galveston is a very good lab, but the top research facilities in the United States, and I want to reassure our viewers about this, they call them level 4 biocontainment facilities. CDC has 2, and the United States Army Research Institute of Infectious Disease, U.S. AMRID, has the biggest, 10,000 square feet. People wearing space suits, researchers, the air is filtered. They very, very rarely have a problem, and they're involved in defense against bioterrorism. So they got Ebola there, they got Marburg virus there, they got flu and they're experimenting with it there, but they're doing it very, very, very carefully. They even have a facility if a person, God forbid, gets contaminated there.
So it has a great reputation,
but
here's a direct question for you, Doctor. How does a vial go missing? How is that possible?
Well, Bill, this is the problem we saw with the anthrax mailings, if you recall, in 2001. I think a vial goes missing if a scientist or a helper, an aide, you know, somehow mistakes it or it disappears or they take it. I mean, I think this needs a very serious investigation. In this case, I'm not worried about the public, but it's a wake-up call that we really got to watch at. A lot of hands are touching things, you know, and that's why that's the biggest risk. The biggest risk of bioterrorism, unfortunately, is a lab accident or a lab error.
Is that so?
Because we can defend against terrorists, but it's very hard to defend against a scientist gone AWOL or somebody that slips or an accident that occurs. This virus is not going to be the one.
And you've heard of this before, the guanarito virus?
I've heard of this virus, but again, this is one of those deadly viruses in animals that we're studying to see what the difference is. What would you have to do to this virus to get it to the point where it could affect humans? In 1918, we saw something jump the species barrier, a flu virus, but it doesn't happen that often. We need to know scientifically what it would take for it to happen. You know, that's the movie Contagion. It's very, very rare.
What are you doing? Look at him. Don't look at me. What are you doing? Don't look at me.
We could easily be looking at a new form evolve.
Go away.
I'm going to show the world what happened here.
If you find this tape, just please get it out.